Welcome everybody to the Candle Enthusiast. I am your host, Shane Carlson. And today, if you didn't just join me on several of my other live videos, I am at the Yankee Candle Village flagship store in South Deerfield, Massachusetts. And usually it's really hard for me to get good lighting in here. And right now I look like I am on the surface of the sun. So let's move the camera right here. So if you read the headline of this video, you would have seen that I'm going to give you my Yankee Candle picks for autumn slash Halloween slash spooky candles. It dawned on me that because we only really have two brand new fragrances this year for Yankee Candle 2019, there's naturally some folks who are, maybe they don't like trick or treat. Maybe, the haunted hayride isn't their thing. But there's an endless library of Yankee candles that are readily available that can, with a little bit of mixology, you can, create definitely a spooky environment. And these candles that I'm going to show you are just simply not talked about enough. So I figured while I'm here, and we have about a half hour until the Yankee Candle Village closes, I'm gonna share with you a little bit of my opinions today, if that's okay. And never mind the hair. The hair is a little bit nuts, but I've been running around all day. So one candle that does not require any mixology, one candle that is a fantastic Halloween candle, a fantastic autumn candle, a fantastic October candle, or just a conceptually spooky candle, it just doesn't get the attention it deserves. It was originally released as an online exclusive in 2017, and that's probably the reason why it never had much success. It popped up this year. Do I not have it? I do not have it. I can't believe it, but I don't need to show you. Good way to screw this up. I have all the candles I need except for this candle, Autumn Dusk. Autumn Dusk. This candle, when it was released, if you see the European label, it looks like a very friendly, foggy forest during sunset. It's a very calming looking image, but if you see the US label, there's something certainly spooky about the label. It doesn't look like a mist. It looks like fog. It doesn't look like sunset. It looks like an abyss of forest and things lurking in the dark behind the trees, within the silhouettes. Something's moving back there, but we can't quite tell. And the reason why I feel like this candle is really important to talk about today is so many people were they liked Haunted Hayride, the candle, the new candle, but it wasn't what they were expecting. They smelled it cold and they're like, wow, this smells like lavender, and this smells like flowers, and this smells kind of fruity. And although it clearly has signs of being smoky and herbal on it when you smell it cold, it just didn't. I don't think it had the forest floor, the spookiness, the atmosphere of a dark forest in the middle of the night. So with that said, let me read you real quickly the fragrance notes of those two candles, because it's remarkable how similar they are. And it's just that I think Haunted Hayride has a few more top notes that brighten it up. So I think if you take Haunted Hayride home, burn it, you might find yourself enjoying it. But if you do not, go pick up Autumn Dusk. There's a bunch of 2019 pours available, and it's currently on sale on the website for $12 and change. So Autumn Dusk Explore a dark autumn forest of mysterious wood notes and smoky spice. That doesn't sound like a playful autumn candle. That sounds spooky. When you say the word dark and forest together like that, and smoky spice, let me read it one more time. Explore a dark autumn forest of mysterious wood notes and smoky spice. This is clearly a spooky candle. It's not for everybody, but it definitely will bring you outdoors. It will be that haunted trail, that logging trail, the forest floor, the road in which those horses carrying the stagecoach will go back and forth at an incredible speed in the middle of the night in a haunted forest. Actually had somebody smell autumn dust today, and I didn't tell them what the candle was, but they said it reminded them of a forest that Belle from Beauty and the Beast rides through to escape the wolves. Or was that her father? I don't know. But either way, I just think Autumn Dusk is a successful candle, and no one's really given it a shot. Let me read the fragrance notes for you. That was the whole point of this. Top notes, smoked clove. Smoked clove is the top note? Yes. This is a heavy candle. And this is where Haunted Hayride is going to diverge, because Haunted Hayride, I'll read the notes in a second, but is a much brighter candle. So Autumn Dusk, smoked clove, red pine, blue spruce, red cedar bark, amber, sandalwood, balsam. Well, that's outside, right? Haunted Hayride, top notes, charcoal accord. Okay, so a conglomeration of several things that create the aroma of charcoal. It's a very sweet, non-smoky charcoal experience on Haunted Hayride. Black pepper, orange zest, rich cypress, so not balsam, but we have cypress, fir needles instead of blue spruce. Both have, one has nutmeg, one has clove, one has amber, one has vanilla, and it even says smoked amber, like the smoked clove before, and Haunted Hayride, patchouli, and black musk. Black musk, we can't get into that now, but that is a really complicated perfumery term. I will say on Cold Sniff, the patchouli wasn't something I was really picking up on, but hopefully it does come through if that's your thing. So I'm sorry that I don't have the candle to show you, but I can't. This is really was kind of the most important part of this whole live video, was sharing my opinion on Autumn Dusk. It is a Halloween candle, in my opinion. I mean, you can burn it all autumn long, but if you're looking for that ever elusive outdoor in the wilderness Halloween Yankee Candle fragrance, that's spooky, Autumn Dusk, and the label is quite spooky in and of itself. So there's that Haunted Hayride. I guess I don't need this now. So let me talk about another candle that doesn't get as much credit as I feel like it deserves. A 2016 autumn release for Yankee Candle. In Europe, this goes by the name of Autumn Night. And this candle had a sister or brother or sibling candle called Autumn Gathering. But in the US, this fragrance, Crisp Fall Night, this is a big one. This is a big one. Be honest, if you're listening in, who likes this one? Who doesn't dig this one? This is really where people start to divide. Some people love it, some people don't. It's okay. I think the reason why people maybe don't like this one is that it's powerful, but everyone is always saying, man, why doesn't Yankee make these powerful candles anymore? Well, here is a great example. This is seriously explosive. And even just on cold, is this thing out of control. I just sniffed this for a fraction of a second, and I can tell that this candle is spot on accurate from the one I purchased in 2016, the first one I purchased in 2016. Now, this has a lot of the same ingredients as Haunted Hayride, which was the first thing I noticed when I smelled Haunted Hayride in the votive form. It has the lavender, it has the cracked black pepper, not cracked black pepper, but the peppercorn. It doesn't have, what is Haunted Hayride? The wood note in Haunted Hayride. It's a good thing I have notes here. It doesn't have any wood notes. Smoked amber, vanilla, those two things is going to create kind of a wood accord or a wooden base to this fragrance. And then the patchouli and Haunted Hayride will give that a little bit of herbal qualities too, which will enhance the tree. Where this one, Crisp Fall Night has, what was it? It says maple leaf, but it's definitely a heavy wood smell. Oh, check it out, oak. Something that wasn't really popular as far as fragrance descriptions for Yankee Candle up until this year. Oak, I absolutely adore. And I mean, of course, working in the wine industry and just being a big beverage person, oak is what's used to make barrels, right? Like wine barrels, bourbon barrels. It's oak, and it's predominantly French oak for quality beverages. And oak doesn't smell like Home Depot. It smells like sweet vanilla, has that barrel spice to it. A lot of the flavor that we taste in bourbons or whiskey-based spirits actually come from the barrel, especially the smoky qualities. But this candle is sweet, but so musky. You have these two contrasting forces. The big, hey buddy, how's it going on?
I got a phone call from my mom. She said you needed this.
Oh my God, come over here. Come over my shoulder. Say hello to everybody. What's your name?
Matthew.
Matthew, so much. Thank you so much. We have somebody watching live, Matthew, who saw that I didn't have Autumn Dusk. Thanks again, buddy. I really appreciate that. And he grabbed it from, I can't believe he found this. This thing was hidden out all the way in the back. Yes, how spooky is that label?
I know.
That's pretty spooky, right? I wouldn't go out in there at nighttime. Look at that. Very cool. Very, very cool. Thank you so much, Matthew. And make sure, when you get home, subscribe to the Candle Enthusiast, okay?
Did.
Oh, you did? Great. All right, bud. Love your t-shirt.
Thank you.
Have a great day, all right?
You too.
Always, that was a very fun moment for me. Very cool. Big shout out to Matthew for saving the day there. So getting back to Crisp Fall Night, the two major contrast factors here is this it's hard to believe I want to say this, but to me there is a sweetness here that, I almost can smell a little bit of maple syrup. I can smell a little bit of like a blue fruit or a bramble. I can smell sweet floral notes in here, but this has a bombastic muskiness. And what is interesting is I'm taking a look at the fragrance notes. Oh, bergamot. Okay, so it is in there. Bergamot, grapefruit, black peppercorn, lavender, maple leaf, vetiver, which we'll talk about in a second, and oak. Now, vetiver is something as a descriptor, I'm always using on candles. But it's very rarely used. That word is very rarely used by Yankee Candle, or the fragrance is rarely used at vetiver. Vetiver is a tropical grass. It's a very popular fragrance oil, essential oil that you can buy at your local oil shop. And it smells like hay. It smells like roots. It smells like dead grass. It smells like corn stalks. You follow me? It smells like dried out, dead vegetation. And I was almost positive that Haunted Hollow of 2017 had vetiver in it, even though it wasn't in the fragrance notes. So Crisp Fall Night, to sum it all up, maybe this is not the most spooky experience, but a cold autumn night. Watch my Crisp Autumn Night video. It's the second video I ever made. And it was such a pleasure to make because I did it. I went out at night and I tried to find a serene, quiet spot, and I smelled this candle. And let me tell you, every time I smell this candle from that day forward, brings me right back to that moment, sitting outside, listening to the crickets, feeling that inevitable breeze that's getting colder and colder by the moment, meaning only one thing, that autumn, the fall season, is getting closer and closer. This is a powerful candle, and it just simply doesn't get talked about enough, even though it has been returned. It's been returning, I think, every year since its release. Crisp Fall Night, and if you're shopping in your local outlet, look for Autumn Night, or ask them if they have Autumn Night. This is a situation where this label, this is when in 2016, this is when the labels were brand new, and the image is completely cropped. You can't even tell what's going on in this photo. That is not really happening anymore, thank goodness. But the full label of this, Autumn Night, is gorgeous. We're essentially looking at some autumn branches with, that looks like it. Even the Yankee Candle makes these, the little glass votive holders that you hang like ornaments. That's what we're looking at, and there's some bokeh in the background, some lights. So it's as if we're sitting on a picnic bench in the park with a little bit of street lights in the back, and our only source of illumination other than those lights is that lit votive. Crisp Fall Night, this certainly is one of my highest picks for this time of year. Just keep in mind, it is certainly not for everybody. And that's okay. If one candle was for everybody, it wouldn't be any fun. Would not be any fun. All right, so how do we want to do this? I'm going to show you this one here, one that I do not think that is talked about enough. This came out, was it 2000 or 2014? It was when the labels were still the full size. This is Autumn in the Park, and this one also had a sibling candle. It was a Crisp Morning Air, and I can't tell you how many of those candles and how much I burned them when I lived in California, because they were my escape. You know, this to me, you know, I'm a New York guy. I'm a New York kid. I grew up in New York, and when someone says Autumn in the Park, my mind goes to New York City. It may bring you to a different city completely, but in Napa Valley, we didn't have any parks that looked like that, that's for sure. And so on warm, sunny, beautiful blue sky autumn days, I would light this puppy up, Autumn in the Park, and it is a beautiful mixture, nothing spicy. This is gonna have really a nice fragrant, floral, autumn foliage with a little bit of liberties taken aroma to it, with big apple, big apple. We can go on and on because there is certainly some worn wood, rain-beaten wood to this candle. Oh my God, you know, it's like, I feel like I have to be careful because I'm on Yankee Candle's property. But if you put Cider House, this year's Cider House, if you put Cider House, the label on this jar, this would totally work as a Cider House candle. It doesn't smell like apple cider, but it smells like the facility that would be making apple cider. apple macerations, or apple must with the T, is the solids, the skins, the seeds, the stems, all of the solids we find within the fruit after it's been squeezed. We smell the juice, but we're smelling that skin. We're smelling those fragrant, floral, pretty smells of the apple. And like I said, we have that dried leaf aroma that's a little bit poetic. It's not really how dry leaves smell, but it's kind of how the candle industry describes, like Yankee Candle's autumn leaves or Yankee Candle's autumn woods. It's a little bit poetic. How are we doing on time? The music just went off. I think I'm getting kicked out. So we're going to move quick. So autumn in the park, and more importantly, not more importantly, but equally as important, crisp morning air. That was my Prospect Park Brooklyn candle. I loved those two candles, and I just didn't feel like that one got talked about enough. So real quick, my picks from for the 2019 Farmers Market collection. Now, my personal favorite, it's not going to be everyone's bag, right? This is, for me, I consider myself a little bit of a hardcore candle burner. I like things that push the limits. And so many people have spoken about this candle already. And maybe one day I'll sit down and I'll give my in-depth evaluations of this. But easily my favorite of the bunch. And it's not even technically a part of the Farmers Market collection. Oak and amber incense. If you smell this once, twice, 3 times, no. If you smell this once, twice, and you're like, ooh, it's not my thing, please go back to Yankee Candle. Go find a quiet corner of the storefront, pick up this candle, smell it. Let your mind go. Put down your defenses. Find a comfortable, vulnerable space, and close your eyes and let your mind and imagination bring those images from your past. I'm telling you, a candle like this has the capacity, the ability to really take you to places that are lost in your memory, or maybe even take you to places you've never been. But either way, this is a beautiful, probably the top 3 favorite scents, autumn scents by Yankee Candle in the past 5 years. It's, again, not going to be for everybody. This is not going to be a light this in your house and everybody's going to love it. This candle is a portal. It's going to tell you a story and it's going to transport you. And with that said, it may not please everybody. But then, again, what does please everybody? Now, my second choice, a very close runner-up, and this one everyone would love, so I wanted to show you this real quick. Pumpkin apple parfait. Holy good God, did they really knock this out of the park. This is super savory and sweet, but it's got the richness of like butternut squash or roasted pumpkin. It is insanely complex and decadent. This is a must. If you haven't smelled this yet, please do yourself a favor. Really rich, and like I said, this is one where I'm gonna find it hard to believe someone's gonna walk in your house and be like, "Whew, put out that candle," because it's friendly. There's nothing in here that's going to really turn people away, unless they don't like apples and butternut squash, or the smell of butternut squash. All right, I was going to use that one. I'll skip that. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of mixology here. The top 3 classic Yankee Candles of all time. This is a staple of Yankee Candle's lineup. It has been for, hey, Santa Claus. Santa Claus is down there. Oh, man. This has been a staple for decades, and nothing, in my opinion, is as nostalgic and as authentic as the Yankee Candle Macintosh candle. It doesn't just simply smell like candle, folks. please just don't look at the one word and look at the picture of the apple and be like, oh, it smells like an apple. It does not just smell like an apple. It smells like an apple, but an apple has hundreds, if not thousands, of different, completely different nuances that make up the authenticity of the smell, right? And sometimes what you feel emotionally when you smell a real apple or a real object can't be, put into wax. So you have to find creative, connect the dot ways of using ingredients to create that fully emotional experience. And MACINTOSH does it to me every time. But if this is too single noted for you, have a little bit of fun with it. We have a bright tart malic acid apple right off the tree. It's going to be, like I said, bright and fruity. But now we need something sweet and sticky, savory and salty. And one of my favorite autumn treats of all time, being outside in the cold autumn air with that caramel covered apple on a stick. Santa Claus is watching me. He's watching me. This is amazing. I have a candle that I wanted him to sign. There's plenty that you can choose from, but there's not one that I recommend more than this. If you have the MACINTOSH apple, go to your local Yankee Candle or go on the website, pick up salted caramel. This is fantastic on its own, but it's also a fantastic candle to pair with MACINTOSH, because now we have the fruit component and we have the confection candy component. But we can't stop there. We have the caramel, we have the apple. We could do something nutty, like something like roasted peanuts and honey. We could maybe use something like taffy or cotton candy if we wanted a candy apple, not a caramel apple. But what really is going to seal the deal for me is we need some kind of wood component, because we have that stick, the apple on the stick. That's such a crucial part of the experience of eating a candy apple. Because whether it's a lollipop, which is made out of paper, or you're eating a corn dog, just like in those scenarios when you're eating a candy apple or a caramel covered apple, you have that stick that you suck on like a lollipop or a popsicle stick when you're done with it. So you need a wooden component. But why just keep it at wood? Let's spice it up a little bit. Let's get a little bit more nuances in there. Let's get a little bit more sweetness, and let's get some more autumn profiles, because nothing is more decadently delicious when it comes to a wood and bourbon barrels than maple syrup. This was at one point, and it still says Village exclusive. For years, you could only get this here at South Deerfield, Massachusetts, or the Virginia flagship store in Williamsburg, but this is available on the website now. It's probably available at your local Yankee Candle. But this will give you that wooden stick. It'll give you a little bit of that maple syrup. It'll give you that oak barrel and those barrel spices that I talked about. The tiny, 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 tiny bit of cinnamon sugar, right? A little bit of the nutmeg, not a lot. We're talking about the subtlety of the baking spices that we would pick up on a stack of pancakes, right? Just a little bit of seasoning, not a bombastic baking spice explosion. But like I said, beautiful complementing aromas of very authentic maple syrup, the wood, and this label has the Sugar Shack in the back, which again, I think is a kind of a large part of this candle. You need that wooden component, and a little bit of, why not, the forest floor. Oh man, that just smelled like, a breakfast or brunch, and not in the IHOP kind of way. Not making fun of IHOP, but burn these three together. We have New England maple, we have salted caramel, and the classic MACINTOSH. Look, if this is just an excuse for you to go out and buy another MACINTOSH right now, and if you haven't done it in years, I know how it is. This has been around forever. You know it's not going anywhere, so we don't usually buy it. If you don't have one on your shelf, go buy a new one, please. And if it's not good enough on its own, have a little bit of mixology. In the comments below, I want you to put your mind to the test. I need your mixology. your mixologist, your inner mixologist, to come up with a concept of at least 3 different fragrances of Yankee candles. And I want this to be a concept, not just, ooh, this will smell nice with this, or this has apple and this has apple, so it'll go nice. I want this to be a concept. I want you to create a portrait, a setting, a place, an item, a thing, anything, and really dig deep. Leave your mixology below. I will go over all of your combinations, and I'll love to read them and respond. They are truly kicking me out. Santa Claus is going to kick me out if I don't get up at this moment. Thank you for joining in. Subscribe if you haven't already. The full Yankee Candle preview party Halloween for 2009. My full edited video will be up this week, and there'll be plenty more lives where this come from. Where this video has come from, including tomorrow, which is the Candle Enthusiast 3rd anniversary, and we're going to be celebrating going live from a very special place, and possibly even a little bit more special within the past several weeks. So I hope that you guys join in tomorrow for another live and a little mini celebration from a fun place. Thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and leave a comment, and I'll see you guys real soon. Thank you all for joining in, guys. I'll talk to you later.